Good morning and welcome to this recorded workshop. LinkedIn, polish your profile. Today's workshop is funded with a generous support from the Harold Alfond Foundation. It is part of the UMS Transforms Pathways to Careers Consortium grant. The agenda for today, so we're going to be talking about the LinkedIn platform on creating and editing your profile. It is a very short slideshow, and then we're just going to go into a live demonstration. Um, the topics that we're going to cover are social media evolution, what is LinkedIn, benefits of LinkedIn, LinkedIn evolution, networking etiquette, LinkedIn sections, and then last live demonstration. At the end of the session, learners will be able to identify social media's dominance in daily life, develop social media awareness, understand the benefits of LinkedIn, utilize online networking etiquette, identify LinkedIn profile sections, and create a polished profile for the best presentation. So, social media evolution, I think everybody is well aware of the presence of social media in today's life because it is absolutely everywhere. It's everywhere you turn. There is a social media platform that we use to connect, sell goods, purchase goods, consume news, get, pop culture information, funny videos, just to make people laugh, have a good time and relieve stress. I think almost everybody has a TikTok account, but social media is everywhere. We have artist platforms for music. There are dating sites. It's life in real time. A lot of small businesses have boomed. I'm not sure that if you do have a TikTok or not, but if you do, the TikTok shop has literally exploded. A really big thing that I've noticed lately is that political movements are really, really huge on TikTok. A lot of organizing is done there. Education has really exploded at the seams. You can, Google. You can just research anything in TikTok. I can tell you alone in baking and cooking, I have about over 700 um, videos that I myself have learned so much about cooking because that is one of my passions. One thing that has really changed with social media is the job market. There have been a ton of brand new news anchors. If you are familiar with them, there's Under the Desk News, Aaron Parnas, Parker, Dean. There's like 10 others that I'm pretty sure I'm missing that have really gained some big notoriety. I don't truly know their backgrounds. I don't know if they study journalism or they were just really good passionate journalists that are homegrown. But either way, there are some really, really solid little news anchors, independent news anchors that have emerged from this social media evolution. It's absolutely changed our work environments. A lot of people do seek out remote work now. Influencers and personal branding has been around for a very, very long time since the dawn of YouTube. However, it's just kind of taken on a stronger presence, and podcasters are gigantic now. There's a lot of podcasters that you can see in the TikTok app as well. So, safe to say it is absolutely everywhere, every facet, and it's not really going to fade anytime soon. You have to use caution with any other platform that you use, any social platform that you use, but the evolution of social media has literally exploded. It is here and it's here to stay. So, social media has become an undeniable fixture. It's everywhere. It's in our daily routines. It is now woven into the fabric of how we communicate, how we consume information, and somehow we define ourselves. Our digital landscape does have a dark side. There are it's constant connection now these days. So we do get a constant barrage of videos, memes, photos, comics, reels, and it is very, very easy to be deceived or fall victim to authenticity or fake information, misinformation, bullying, and privacy issues, and especially emotional harm. So aside from the undeniable benefits, I always do have to mention that we should always navigate with caution, that our mental well-being is a top priority always, and don't ever put your personal information into social platforms. They're wonderful in keeping us connected and teaching us new skills and trades and learning about different viewpoints and cultures and diversity, and it's absolutely great, but there is also a dark side, just as there is to every other thing that we encounter. So, LinkedIn, the professional platform, what is LinkedIn? It is a professional platform and it is multifaceted. You can do all kinds of things on it. You can network train. There's career development courses now. There's a ton of recruiters on there. There's content sharing. You can do a professional news feed, a lot of thought leadership. From CEOs and CFOs, talking about things that make businesses successful and leadership do's and don'ts. And there's a lot of connections and partnerships that people are, starting to form on the platform. There are a lot of benefits to LinkedIn. There's, job opportunities, networking. You can always, snoop on different companies that you would love to work for, see who's working for them, where they went to school, what kind of training that they did to kind of get a good snapshot of what you could possibly be facing if it's your industry. You could do personal branding. I personally know a lot of people that have started their own career services and they have started doing their branding on LinkedIn and they've been quite successful. There's a lot of career development coaches there, training, and you can really get top visibility. There are other platforms that are similar to LinkedIn. I just don't know those names at the moment. The most common one that really kind of jumps out most of the time will always be LinkedIn. For business benefits, they can recruit, they can brand, they can get different insights on what other big companies are doing to see if they are, in the race or they need to catch up, or perhaps they're leading the race, or how can they research, cutting edge, business trends that they can, hop on and, kind of lead the charge, and be the next lead generation. LinkedIn Evolution did start back in 2003, and it really has transformed from the very, very, the beginning, the early days. It started as a professional platform to showcase your journey. Like you could put your resume, you could put your work history, and you could network, but it ended at that. It wasn't really what it is today. So over the years, from 2007 to now, it has had some major leaps and it has really transformed. We started off slowly, and I remember you could recommend other people that you've worked with. You could add skills, you could endorse skills, and then news feeds started to surface to where you could, type a message, you could repost, you could advertise, you could show your branding. Microsoft did acquire it, and then content creation kind of took off from there. Um, Between 2017 and 2020, of course, AI was on the rise, and of course, now it's exploded. So we do know now that it's comprehensive. You can look for jobs, there's training, networking, branding, recruiting. There's all kinds of things that you can do on your LinkedIn account. There are a lot of sections now that you can edit to your professional profile. It's definitely a comprehensive platform now. We know that AI will only get stronger. That's what the prediction is right now. So we don't know what it's going to look like in the next 5 years or any other transformations that it's possibly going to go through. So for networking, it is really, really valuable. You can grow your professional network. Your networks are limitless. There are all kinds of industries on there. If you are a really good person that loves to network and you're just, you're going to be like, I'm going to grow my network, rejection is absolutely still part of the process and it's absolutely okay. But we do need to go over like what would, proper etiquette be. Um, for example, if you're job hunting and you find somebody at that company, or perhaps maybe that person is linked to somebody that you already know and that you are connected to. There are different ways that we can approach networking to where it's comfortable and it's not so much a sales pitch. But one thing that we absolutely want you to walk away with is that when you virtually reach out in hopes of making a connection or hoping to be connected to somebody else, there's somebody that you know you have got to do all the work. The biggest pitch is that the people that you are approaching should never ever have to hunt, click, drag ever for to find your details. Your details should always be in the email that you craft when you are saying hello and you are approaching them. Everything should be at their fingertips and at their eyesight. They should never have to hunt for anything, right? We want to put all the work on ourselves because we are making an ask. And we are asking them, to connect, and we're asking them for their advice or for their help. Okay. So that's what I really want you to understand when we are virtually reaching out to somebody on any platform. And when we are doing reach outs, I do have some examples. So a scenario one would be that if you find a professional at a company of interest that you do not know, and you're like, I found this job and I really want to apply for it, I'm going to go see who works there. I'm just going to snoop around, which is, there's nothing wrong with snooping around. And you craft an email, it should look something like what you see on the screen. So it should read, good morning. I hope you're doing well. ABC company appears to be a dynamic company to work for. Their efforts in blank are impactful, and I'm aware of the new position in blank blank. I'm eager to apply for it because it matches my skill set and my goals. I would love to connect with you and learn more about this role and the team. My email is dot 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 at gmail.com. And here's a link to my profile. Thank you for your time. Hoping to connect. Best regards. It should always look something like that, where you provide them the email, you provide them to the link, you provide them with everything so that they don't have to search. Now, scenario two. If you find a professional at a company and you actually know somebody that's connected, to them that you already have, it's always a good way to start with something that you and that connection can relate to. For example, I did write one on the screen, and it could be, good morning. I hope this message finds you well. It was great seeing you at that conference last June. Thank you so much for riding the subway with me. We found our way just fine. I noticed that you're friends with Jack Smith on LinkedIn, who works for ABC Company. They are hiring for a social media manager, and I'm really excited to apply for it because it matches my skill set and it's checking all the boxes on my end. Could you introduce us if you don't mind? My email is dot 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 at gmail.com, and my LinkedIn profile is here. I hope to see you at the next conference. Best. So it should look something like that. The key with asking somebody that you already know is you want to start with something that signifies your connection, your relationship, so that it brings up the connection first, that it doesn't feel like a cold call. And I hope that makes sense. But that's what your text should look like in virtual reach outs. Okay, so LinkedIn editable sections. There are a ton of them. Um, it's evolved over time, but there are a lot of sections that when you create your profile, you are able to edit and you can detail it and you can polish it however which way you want. And all of those sections, you have a profile banner where it has your photo, where you can put your photo, in front of the banner. So there, make sure that, your photo is not a selfie and that it's professional. There's an about section where you can say who you are, what kind of professional you are, maybe some achievements, some key skills. There's an activity section where you can kind of see what you've done. It goes on and on to your experience, education, projects that you've worked on, skills that you've added. References can write you letters, courses or like special trainings that you have attended that you just really want there. You can put them there. There's an honor and award section. There's some organizations that you follow so that people can see what kind of professional you are and what your interests are. There's all kinds of things. If you have a nice polished profile, it does help your resume be a little bit more concise and clear. It can add like it can bring your resume that they have on paper to life. So it's just kind of an extension of your resume, but they're valuable to have even if you don't have that much experience. It shows that you are making an effort and that you are stepping into your industry with your best professional foot forward. And it shows that you are proactive and that you are making an effort. But the more sections that you have filled out, the better you're going to be. And you can always put your the link to your LinkedIn profile at the top of your resume with your contact information. Okay, moving on. So, demonstration how to edit your profile and to gain the most traffic. So, what I'm going to do is I am going to get into my LinkedIn profile page. Now, guys, I'm doing this just, I don't have a script. I'm just going to show you what my profile looks like, and I'm going to show you the different sections that you can edit. Okay. So, what you're seeing on the screen is my LinkedIn profile page, and we're just going to go through the website nice and slow, nice and easy, nothing fancy. I'm just going to show you how I have mine set up so that you can be familiar with it and then do yours. So up at the top, you'll have a home page where you can click it and it'll take you to your home page. You can see your feed. Your network is the people that you have connected with. If you are looking for a job, there is a job section. Messaging, you can do private messaging. This is where you would reach out. Notifications, that's where you get all of your notifications of new feeds or posts or anything that your organizations that you follow that they post and you're like, oh, I want to see their latest issue. That's where you can get all your notifications. Where you see your little profile up here, it says me. And right here is where you can look at your own profile, and then they offer you chances to get verified. I just have the basic stuff. I have nothing verified. I don't pay for anything. Then you can also manage your own stuff. Um, and there's that. And then for businesses, I think this is like if you pay, I'm not sure. I don't have a business, so I don't use this, but this is what it looks like if you have a business, your apps, your talent, sales, marketing, and learning. Okay. And then of course, if you wanted to do premium, you could pay a subscription and then get your premium. So where you see these little pencils, this is where they're telling you you can edit this section. Okay. So if you were to hit edit, you can either edit your cover page or create something else. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave that alone. And the same thing goes how you see the arrow. If you click your your photo, you can either edit it, update it, or add a frame, or you can delete it, and it shows you that anybody can see it. Okay, so I'm going to leave that alone. Over here, where you see this one, I believe this pencil, this little edit pencil, stands for this entire section. And if I click on it, yes, it does. So if I click on it, you can put your name first, last, any additional names. I myself put my certification and then my education at the back. You don't have to, but that's just what I do. I do have my pronouns here. You don't have to add them. This is your profile. You do you, okay? And then it just shows you who can see it. And then here it says, in this section, you can put what you are currently doing. And then there's a big old drop down. Um, this drop down, yep, you can either select it or you can add a new position, whatever you need to do. But that's your title. And then you can show the industry that you are in. It can show your education. And then if you needed to add another education, I think it would let you do that. And then it has contact information. You can also edit it there. So I'm just going to hit save because I don't, why, you know what? I'm just going to hit X because I didn't make any changes. So that was this top section right here. So there's my name, my education, my certification, my pronouns, my current role. I added, um, I added some keywords of my keywords of the things that I've done. I put the location that I reside in. I didn't put the location of the college. I just put my area. And then I don't think I have my contact information. Oh, I do. I have my Yahoo and then my birthday and all that good stuff. So you can also edit that or not place it. It's up to you. Again, I'm sorry to repeat myself, but that's up to you. So you can always add a section, enhance your profile, or do resources. So under here on your analytics, you can see who's viewed your profile, any impressions of anything that you posted, or how many searches that you came up in, right? So if you show all analytics, and I haven't been in this in forever, so please forgive me if I sound clueless. So 2 impressions, 216 followers, 14 views, 46 appearances. Um, Apparently, there is a weekly tracker. I'm not that active on this, as you can see. Creator tools, LinkedIn Live. I don't really do that. I'm not that kind of a person. How do I get out of this, guys? I think I'm just going to do this, see if that works. Yep. Okay. So that got me out of that. So just so you know, you can go in to see all your analytics. Okay. Moving on. Your about section. On your About section, you can write who you are. This can be similar to your resume summary that you write. Um, I'm not going to read you mine because that's long, but it would look something like that. And I don't know how many characters. Let's go see what the edit pencil says. So here, you can write about your years of experience, industry, or skills. People can also talk about their achievements or their previous job experiences. So this is, you can write just about that. And it says right here, you have 2,600 characters. So that's pretty long. I mean, I wouldn't write a novel there, but, it's a nice chunk of space that you can write about who you are. Okay. And then down here, you can show some skills. You can add up to 5 skills that you would like to be known for. And they appear in your skills section. So they'll make suggestions, but you can also add them there. I don't have anything there. I just wanted the about to be by itself. But just so you know, you can put skills there. I'm going to X out of this. Moving on. So activity. So in your activity, this is where you can post things like your posts, your comments, or any images. Okay. You can create a post and it's just like any other online platform and it can give you a history of what you have posted. I'm not going to go into that. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. You can post stuff, end of story. So I'm going to move on to experience. So this is the like work experience section of your resume. And here is where it can read exactly like your resume and you can add other stuff. So I'm going to hit the edit button so that we can go in and see what it looks like. So and I also do this as reverse chronological. I think that it should match your resume. So my current position is with UMA, so that's what I have listed here. I have done this a number of times, and I have been in higher education for a very long time. So, what I've done is that I have chosen to go to each job that I've had, and I've gone to paragraph form. And I like to break stuff up so that it's just easier to read. And then I have skills that are connected to each experience. Okay. So, and it is reverse chronological. So currently I'm at UMA and then I have a previous position, the paragraph of what it was. And then I have my previous position and on and on and on. Okay. So it shows my entire history. Now here, um, that is when I moved, that's when I got into higher education and I did have a number of positions. So everything is spelled out here. In my resume, I don't have this spelled out because it's quite long. Uh, but I do, this is why I always suggest a LinkedIn account because I fleshed it out here so that when people come and look, they can see just exactly what I have done. Um, and you're only supposed to go back 10 years. So technically, I'm supposed to remove this already, but you know what? I'm picky. And I really love what I've done. So I understand how students have to, say, no, I have to have that there, Jen. I can't erase it. You can't make me. So I just want to make sure that you all understand, on LinkedIn, it's your profile. You do what you want. You make it as detailed as you want. It's on your resume that we want things short, sweet, and concise, and only 10 years back, okay? If you're stubborn like me, you can do a functional and still list it, and it'll all fit on one page. The choice is yours, okay? So that is what your experience will look like. I am going to go into the most recent one and I'm going to show you what the edit looks like. If you edit an experience, you can put in the title, if you're full-time, part-time, whatever, uh, who the organization is, and then your dates, and then the location, and then the type, and then look, there's your description, okay? And then if you go further down, you can add skills or add media, images, documents, anything like that you can add. There's so much that you can do here, but you have to spend time and go through it when you have the time, okay? So that's what it is. Are you sure you want to discard the changes? I didn't make any changes, so I'm gonna hit discard. Okay. Is it still there? Yes, it is. Okay. So that's that. So that entirety is the profile page. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back. I am going to go back to the top and I want to show you over here. So English, you can always edit your English or your languages that you speak. If you speak more than one language, God, I sound crazy. If you speak more than one language, you can list them all here, and that is very valuable, and I highly recommend that you do it. Now here, this is your public profile and your URL. So this is the link that I tell you guys to copy. You're supposed to copy and paste your link to your resume at the very, very top with your contact information, and then you edit the link to read LinkedIn profile. And this long string should not be displayed. The words should literally read LinkedIn profile. Okay. So, and then sometimes they'll tell you, they always try to make you purchase something, get that premium so that you can see everything. I don't. But if you feel that you need to, then you do it because it'll show you like who has looked at your profile. Okay, like who's been checking your stuff out. Okay. Um, Premium has become a really big thing now, and it is kind of hard to see who's looking at your profile in LinkedIn, but I highly, highly recommend it. Just do the basic free one. Fill it out as much as you can. Get a nice photo up there that you're happy with, that you're like, yes, I'm okay with that. Like mine, I can't stand that little hair, but I mean, I like the photo. It's professional. It's okay. It works, right? You can't see anything weird in the back. It's just a muted background, which is what you're supposed to have. There is also a recorded workshop that I created on uh, creating your LinkedIn profile photo. And it's a video just on photography alone and how you can create profile photos that are professional. Anybody can do it. You do not need a professional photographer. You don't need money to purchase that package. Just get a buddy, get a cell phone or a camera, any kind of camera, and you learn how to manipulate light. Look for outdoor, overhead, or cast light or windows. Just go see the video. Everything is there. You'll see it. You'll know what I'm talking about when you see it, okay? So, that is the LinkedIn profile and how you edit it. So, I am going to take this away, and that concludes the demonstration. Now, um, for this workshop, it was a live demonstration, but I still ask that you scan the QR code and you can follow the link and you can fill out a short survey. We always, always try to get evaluations from you guys because we're always trying to improve. No matter what, you are a UMA student and career services is absolutely free for you. So we want you to be the best candidate that you can possibly be when you exit UMA and you're ready to enter the workforce. We highly, highly, highly recommend recommend that you open a LinkedIn account, polish up your profile, get a beautiful photo of yourself up there. And even if you hate social media, at least just do a LinkedIn profile and then that's good enough, right? So you don't have to check it every single day. I do hope that you enjoyed this workshop. We try our best to help you guys out. If you see something that we do not offer that you wish we did, let us know. I can create it. I can do it as a workshop or a private one-on-one. It's entirely up to you. We do everything to meet you where you are. Thank you so very much for attending this recording. You have a wonderful afternoon and have a great day. Bye-bye.